welcome to our YouTube channel. Okay, this is our first video on this channel, and you're very much welcome. My name is Marianne Odenakajuku, and
My name is Victor Ede,
okay, and then together we are called the
the
Audio
audio
Boobies.
Bubins.
All right, so today, in celebration of our 4 years wedding anniversary, we are going to talk about 4 lessons on marriage that we have learned on marriage. I'm going to talk about four. He too will talk about four, his own 4 lessons. So I'll allow him to go first.
Okay, over the years, we've learned a lot of lessons which we want to share with you. Personally, I've learned in my marriage to be patient. That's one. Patience is a virtue that everybody needs in life because it's time bound, and time is something that affects so many things. So if one can be patient in life, good person will get to see good things. You understand? So at some point in time, one may have challenges. It may be some level of financial lack. It may be just in different angles or areas of someone's life. But with patience, definitely some changes will come. Some level of improvement will come. So one is patience. Another one is forbearance. Forbearance. Both forbearance and forgiveness. I think both of them goes together. Forbearance and forgiveness. Because as a couple living with someone, we're all coming from different backgrounds, and because of that, our upbringing are different. So it affects our view to life, our world view to life. And so when two persons live together, there are bound to be some frictions from time to time, some misunderstandings and all that, some characters that uh, the other person or the one person or the other person may find inappropriate. So it takes forbearance and forgiveness to be able to scale through such points. So when there's forbearance, in fact, the Bible says, it said, make allowance for each other's faults. So that's forbearance. When you're able to forbear your spouse's wrong, your spouse's wrongdoing, still time, over time, the person will get to learn and make amends. So I've talked about patience, talked about forbearance or forgiveness. Yes, they can go together, or forgiveness can also stand differently. Another thing I want to talk about is
The third thing.
commitment. The third one is commitment. By commitment, you're talking about the sacrifices you have to make to see that the marriage works. Because, like I said, uh, some things may come up that may be offensive, that may turn you off as a couple, as an individual in the marriage. But when you see that this is your marriage, you must make it work. Now, it helps you to go the extra mile. It helps you to show a lot of commitment, to see that you want to make it work. Now, there may be pressures from outside, several kinds of pressure from financial pressure and things like that. But your commitment to your marriage will go a long way to help you make it work. Okay, so that's the third one. And we're talking about trust. Trust is a key point or a key factor that makes marriage work. Now, as a husband, you should be able to trust your wife. As a wife, you should be able to trust your husband, in several circumstances of life. If there's no trust, then I think the marriage will not work because, especially at times of offense, it will make you to be on edge. It will make you to, want to suspect that your spouse is doing something that he or she may not actually even be thinking about, may not have actually come into his or her mind. So you should be able to trust the person you're with, that I've stayed with this person for a while. These and these are the kind of things the person could do, and these are the kind of things that the person cannot do. So trust is also very important, and it's another thing I've learned over these 4 years in marriage. Thank you very much.
Okay. For my own four lessons, the first thing I want to talk about is that your marriage cannot work until you make it work. And then everybody must work it out, both the man and the woman. We all have our different roles to play. So marriage is not something that you just enter into and then it will start working if you don't put in the work. You must put in the intentionality. You must be intentional about your marriage. So that's the first lesson I've learned. And then secondly is that marriage is not all rosy. There will always be challenges, here and there, for the fact that people are too different in individuals from different backgrounds. There will always be friction and different temperaments. There will always be friction. There will always be, conflict of how do I put it now? Of
Interest.
interest. Yeah, there will always be conflict of interest. So we should know that there will always be challenges along the line. So it's not as if you're so expectant of that challenge. It's there, it's constant. But what you're going to do is just to prepare your heart so that it's not when it comes, you feel like, I never knew this person is like this. And the truth is that you can never know someone on, even when you're living with
Totally,
the person
completely.
totally, you can't know someone totally. So even if you cut for or date for 10 years, then you still meet some surprises, both the pleasant one and the unpleasant surprises. So you should just open your heart for anything like that when it comes up. All right. So then thirdly is communication. Relationships are hinged on communication. There should be constant communication between you and your partner. When there's no communication, the bond tends to get loose. So you must learn to communicate and communicate effectively. Not just one person doing the talking always, and then the other person is not allowed to talk. Communicate effectively. That's the third lesson I've learned. And then finally the lesson I've learned is
The fourth one.
okay, yeah, the fourth lesson
It's
I've
not the
learned.
final one because there are so many lessons.
All right. So the fourth lesson I've learned is that you learn on the process. Like, you can never know it all. There are things you feel like, if things you feel you knew before you married, and then when you get into it, you just, what we call fantasy. You just find out that it's not real. Like, it's not the way you thought it is, and then you learn on the process, and you keep getting better. If you actually put in the work, you keep getting better. As a marriage is one of the institutions, in short, the only institution that they give you a certificate before you even, as you just enter. Unlike other institutions, that is when you graduate and you are certified as, you've done an excellent job before they will give you. But marriage, they give you the certificate even before you enter into it. So you learn in the process. So don't beat up yourself when things are not going the way you feel it should at the first time, because sometimes it may not be the way you envision it that it will go. But as time goes on, you see that synergy coming up when you put in the work. So these are my own four lessons for these 4 years. There are so many, but these are the four. We are doing just four because these are 4 years anniversary. So these are the four. I hope you have learned from these
Yeah,
four lessons that we've just listed now. And then we are also begging you, please support us, subscribe to our YouTube
please
channel.
do, please do.
We are going to be talking on marriage, relationship, family, parenting, money, yeah, how to make money online, especially business, anything at all. Just keep supporting us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please share if you found it interesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Bye.